Chapter. I've had the ability to predict disasters since I was a kid, cheating death more times than I can count. It was the end of Labor Day weekend, and I was heading back to the city with my boyfriend. Before takeoff, I had a premonition that the plane was going to crash. I blocked the boarding gate, stopping everyone from getting on. It caused a massive scene, and I was hauled off for questioning. The plane took off 5 hours late and landed safely, but the passengers used the media buzz to livestream, accusing me of being a domestic terrorist or a cult member. They cried about the losses caused by the delay and demanded I pay for everything. They spun conspiracy theories, inciting the internet to dox me and get me fired. My boyfriend, desperate for a promotion, reported the disasters I had previously predicted to the government. He got me sent to prison for 3 years. Later, the prison collapsed, and I was crushed to death. When I opened my eyes again, I had been reborn. I was standing right in front of the airport terminal. Chloe, my boyfriend, Justin, patted my shoulder, looking secretive. Didn't you say you had a bad feeling today? Is the plane gonna fly or not? I snapped my eyes open, the world spinning around me. The phantom pain of being crushed to death still lingered in my bones. I flinched. Looking at the familiar scene, I realized I was back. In my past life, Justin and I had bought tickets to fly back right after the holiday. But the day of the flight, I had a fever and was throwing up. On the drive to the airport, we hit a rabbit, and I cut my finger on a hair clip, bleeding everywhere. I was terrified and kept begging Justin to rebook. But Justin scolded me for being superstitious. In front of the other passengers in the waiting area, he told everyone I was having a nervous breakdown and was paranoid. He said if I kept it up, he'd have to commit me to a psych ward. I couldn't stand the weird looks from the people around us, so I shut up. But when boarding started, a vision of the plane exploding flashed before my eyes. For everyone's safety, I blocked the gate, screaming for the flight attendants to check the plane. I demanded everyone go through security again. No one believed my prophecy, so I lied and claimed I saw someone with a bomb. But that's when my boyfriend stood up and accused me of being crazy. Desperate to board, the other passengers ganged up on me. They called me sick, saying I was deliberately disturbing the peace. Even so, the authorities took me away for investigation and re-screened the passengers. The plane was checked again. Sitting in the interrogation room, hearing that the plane had landed safely, I was actually relieved. I never expected that to be the start of my nightmare. The incident went viral instantly. The passengers on that flight vented their frustrations one by one. They complained that the 5-hour delay ruined their plans. A CEO live-streamed, claiming he lost a $100 million contract. A woman cried on her stream that she missed her wedding date. Basically, my photos and info were doxed, and the whole internet turned against me. I was fired, and strangers threw rocks and eggs at me in the street. I was too scared to leave my house for a long time. Instead of comforting me, my boyfriend collected evidence and took me to court. He claimed my predictions, over the years, proved I was a dangerous cultist spreading panic. The judge gave me 3 years. When Justin visited me in prison, he looked smug. I asked him why. He sneered viciously. The company actually decided to make you the CFO? Why? You're just a woman. Why should you be above me? Later, when I predicted the prison would collapse, no one believed me. I was thrown in solitary confinement and crushed to death. After I died, I watched as many of the passengers from that flight used my name to become influencers. They started live streaming and selling products. I saw Justin land the CFO position. I wasn't ready to go. I wouldn't accept this. Chloe, what are you thinking about? I'm talking to you. Justin shoved my shoulder, his tone impatient. A girl nearby wearing a blue baseball cap chimed in. We were supposed to board 5 minutes ago. Where's the plane? I'm getting married tomorrow. If I don't get back today and miss my wedding, I'm gonna sue this airline. Blue Hat flashed a diamond ring the size of a golf ball, drawing envious looks from the crowd. A guy with a thick black beard and a briefcase kept checking his watch. I've got a $100 million deal waiting for my signature. If this delay kills my business, can the airline even afford to pay me back? Whoa, big spender. People gathered around to suck up to them. Looking at their faces, I wanted to rip them apart. If the others were just bystanders, these two were the executioners. They got famous online by humiliating and slandering me. Chloe. Justin finally lost it, shouting my name. I suppressed the hatred in my heart and looked at the man who deserved to die the most. Calmly I said, "What? I didn't hear you." Since they repaid my kindness with venom in the last life, they can all take the flight to hell in this one. Justin snapped. I asked if this flight is going to fly or not. I smiled. Of course it will. My answer surprised Justin. He frowned, asking repeatedly, "It'll really fly? Didn't you say you had a bad feeling earlier? Didn't you say you dreamed the plane crashed last night? And you hit that rabbit this morning and cut your finger? You said on the drive over that those were bad omens." Justin was speaking loudly, deliberately making sure everyone heard him. Right before boarding, hearing such unlucky talk made everyone's eyes focus on me. Some looked worried, some scornful, but most just looked at me like I was bad luck. With just a few words, Justin had pushed me into the spotlight. Outside the massive glass windows, thunder rumbled. Justin's pressing voice cut through the thunder. "Chloe, tell me, is the plane safe?" I looked at my boyfriend, remembering the things he said to me in prison in my past life. I suddenly realized I might have been set up back then. The dead rabbit, the cut finger, aside from the nightmares, those could have been staged. Maybe he was trying to gaslight me into a breakdown so he could steal the CFO job. The thought made me go cold. Meeting Justin's gaze, I answered firmly, "It's safe. I'm in a hurry to get back to work. It'll definitely fly." "What rabbit? Stop being so superstitious. It's bad luck to talk like that right before a flight." I smiled at the crowd and spoke up. "My boyfriend is just a little nervous." This time, I wasn't giving him the chance to paint me as the crazy one. First time flying hillbilly? Making your girl comfort you? Pathetic. So much bad juju. Keep your mouth shut. I'm getting married tomorrow. I don't need to hear this crap. The whispering started, and I saw Justin's face turn bright red. He gritted his teeth in anger. I calmly unlocked my phone. I needed to rebook. I just needed to cancel my check-in. If I didn't get on the plane without a reason, I'd look suspicious. Justin suddenly leaned in, lowering his voice. "Chloe, you're acting weird." I can't describe the fear and pressure Justin radiated. He stared hard at my phone and let out a creepy laugh. "You aren't thinking of secretly rebooking, are you?" My heart sank. I glared back at him immediately. "Are you crazy? Why would I do that? You don't know yet, but I heard a rumor the company is about to promote me to CFO. I'm dying to get back. I need to accept the appointment and throw a celebration party." I had to throw out this bait to confuse him. I couldn't let him get suspicious. This scumbag had to get on that plane. Sure enough, when I said that, Justin's face twitched weirdly. His expression looked unnatural. "Really? Well, congratulations." I pressed the attack. "Why? Don't you want to get back ASAP? Is it that the plane can't fly? Or do you not want it to fly? Everyone here has urgent business. Can you stop being so selfish?" I mimicked Justin's earlier tone, speaking loud enough for the whole lounge to hear. Is this guy nuts? I have $100 million deal to close. Are all young people this selfish now? Zero morals. The murmurs started up again, and Justin scrambled to explain. I quietly pulled my ID out of my bag and whispered, "I'm going to the ladies' room." This time, I controlled the narrative. Just as I stood up, Justin's voice rang out abruptly. "My girlfriend reads tarot cards. Why don't we have her do a reading for everyone to see if we can fly? Chloe, come here, everyone's waiting." Justin's voice sounded like a demon's whisper, chilling me to the bone. "For real? Little lady, show us what you got." I've never seen tarot before. This'll be a show. Flight's delayed anyway. Might as well kill some time. Voices chimed in from all over. Justin smiled at me. "Chloe, don't refuse, okay? Are you hiding something?" I had to admit, Justin was sharp in the worst ways. To avoid raising suspicion, I sat back down with freezing hands. Justin pulled my newly bought tarot deck from his bag. A dozen people in the waiting area gathered around. My stiff fingers touched the cards. Quickly, I pulled 3 cards. Each one was more ominous than the last. Death. Destruction. How could I tell them that? I smiled. According to my reading, we will definitely take off today. The group looked at each other. Big Ed crossed his arms, annoyed. What good is taking off today? What about my deal? I smiled. You can rebook. He sneered. In this weather? What's the point of rebooking? Just as I was about to pack up the cards and head to the restroom, Blue Hat suddenly screamed. No. These 3 cards clearly mean the plane crashes with no survivors. Why are you lying? At that, everyone crowded in again. Justin frowned and glared at me. Chloe, what is the meaning of this? Do you want everyone to die? He grabbed my wrist tightly, shouting his interrogation. My heart jumped into my throat, but I quickly shrugged and said helplessly, Sorry everyone, I actually don't know how to do it. I just like to mess around and pretend. As you can see, the tarot deck is brand new. It hasn't even been broken in. I didn't expect to run into an expert. I looked ashamed, then turned to ask Blue Hat. Sis, if it's so dangerous, maybe we should all just rebook? Is this stuff actually accurate? Looks like my trip back to the office is going to be delayed. What should I do? I shifted the target to Blue Hat. Tarot isn't mainstream for everyone. Many of the older passengers didn't buy it at all. My $100 million deal. My grandson is waiting for me to make dinner. No, can't rebook. I have to go collect rent. Chaotic voices drowned Blue Hat out. When people looked at her, their eyes were filled with urgent questioning and blame. Blue Hat's face turned red with anger, and she shouted, Fine. You bitch, don't put words in my mouth. I never said everyone should rebook. I have to get back for my wedding. There's no way I'm changing to tomorrow's flight. Blame her boyfriend. He's the one bringing up all this bad luck. The crowd's mood shifted again. I looked at the plane pulling up to the runway, anxious. Conveniently, Justin was arguing with everyone because of this. I used the excuse of going to the bathroom to leave the chaos. As soon as I got into the stall, I opened the airline app on my phone. It showed I had successfully canceled my check-in and rebooked for tomorrow. Now I had to think about how to handle the police questioning after the crash. This time, no one could testify against me, because dead men tell no tales. I stood in the bathroom for half an hour. It was almost boarding time. Justin suddenly texted me. Chloe, are you still in the bathroom? Why aren't you boarding? Is there actually something wrong with this flight? Seeing that message made my skin crawl. The best diversion I could think of was a fight. Whether it was the fact that only his name was on the house deed, or that his mom stole my gold bracelet to sell it. Things that happened over the holiday that he thought I didn't know about. I just had to mention one, demand he solve it immediately. He'd run faster than anyone. I knew him too well. Right at that moment, my best friend Jessica called, accompanied by a barrage of WeChat notifications. She seemed to have sent a ton of files. As soon as I picked up, her drunken voice slurred through the speaker. Chloe, what do I do? I'm pregnant with Justin's baby. You guys need to break up. Please sob. My baby can't grow up without a daddy. Jessica's words hit me like a bolt of lightning. In my last life, at this exact moment, I was busy trying to stop everyone from boarding. I didn't have time to answer the phone. But this call was perfect. I feigned rage and cursed Jessica out, deliberately walking under a surveillance camera by the sinks. People passing by cast weird looks, some even stopped to eavesdrop. That was exactly the effect I wanted. After hanging up on Jessica, I immediately called Justin. He picked up fast. His voice was annoyed and anxious. Chloe, we're already lining up to board. What the hell are you doing? I tried to make my voice sound cold. I'm not flying. You come out here. We're going back to town. When I said that, Justin sounded relieved. I knew there was something wrong with the plane. Fine, we won't fly. You should have just said so earlier. I sneered. When did you and Jessica start hooking up? You cheating scumbags. No wonder only your name is on the title for the house. Justin, you know I paid for the renovations. Jessica called me. I want an explanation today. We're going back. The 3 of us are going to hash this out face to face. Before he could get a second word in, I unloaded every piece of dirty laundry I had. The line went silent. Justin. Justin, you piece of trash. Are you listening to me? Get your ass out here right now. My voice was incredibly loud. It took a while for Justin to speak. Chloe, I can explain everything, but there's an emergency at the company. We can't let personal issues mess up work, right? Justin was trying to change the subject. I knew he just didn't want to deal with the mess. But it didn't matter. Soon he wouldn't have any mess to deal with. Go to hell, scumbag. I pretended to go hysterical, screaming into the phone. Work? Screw work. I'll quit, I don't care. I have never been this humiliated. Get out here. After I shouted that, I thought I heard a faint snicker from the other end. Maybe he wanted to record this to prove I had a bad attitude toward work? And use it to drag me down? It didn't matter. He'd never get the chance. Justin said, Chloe, I've already boarded. I can't talk. Why don't you go home and cool off? We'll talk when you've calmed down. With that, he hung up immediately, terrified of hearing another word. The airport was covered in cameras. If I was going to act, I had to commit to the bit. I started leaving the airport, calling our mutual friends non-stop on the way. I ranted about their despicable behavior. When I got a cab back to the city, I went straight to Jessica's apartment and banged on her door with a kitchen knife in hand, making a thunderous racket. A neighbor peeked out quickly, then slammed their door shut, probably calling the cops. Good. Let it get loud. The bigger the scene, the better. Jessica hid inside, afraid to come out. I kept pounding on the door. She called me to warn me. Chloe, I'm telling you, I called the police. You were with Justin for years and couldn't get pregnant. I got knocked up as soon as we got together. His mom already said the house is mine. I'm the lady of the house now. Ha 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 ha. When the cops get here, you're going to jail. I ignored her and just kept smashing the door. The nearest police station was less than 2 miles away. 2 officers in uniform showed up shortly. I cooperated immediately, dropping the knife. Officer, that homewrecker inside is sleeping with my boyfriend in my house. And she's pregnant. The 2 officers looked at each other, helplessness in their eyes. But they followed protocol and took both of us to the station for mediation. In the mediation room, Jessica was still arrogant. She rubbed her belly and lifted her chin at me. This is Justin's seed in my belly. There's no way he won't want his own kid. Just wait to get dumped. Is that so? The kid in your belly is about to be fatherless. Jessica continued. You should just break up with him. If this gets ugly, you're the one who loses. His mom loves me. She gave me a gold bracelet the first time we met. Jessica deliberately raised her hand, showing off the gold bracelet on her wrist. I looked closely. That was the one I lost. Just then a police officer walked in and whispered to the other 2. All eyes turned to me. I knew. The plane had probably crashed. Miss Chloe Sue, please come with me to the interrogation room. There are a few things we need to confirm with you. As the police led me away, Jessica was still shouting, See? You did something shady and got caught. Ha ha ha, you don't deserve to compete with me. We have a child. Jessica's voice was cut off by the heavy door. Sitting in the interrogation room, the officer broke the news about the plane crash. They said it hit a flock of birds during descent and crashed onto a hillside. There were only 4 survivors, all seated in the very front. They were currently in the ICU. The police said someone had accused me, claiming the crash had something to do with me. If I wasn't in an interrogation room, I would have laughed. Me? Can I control birds? Can I pilot the plane remotely? But because the incident was major and the casualties severe, the authorities couldn't rule out any non-natural factors. Though, judging by the looks on the officers' faces, even they thought it was absurd. A passenger accused you of saying the plane would crash. Miss Sue, why did you rebook after checking in? The police were just doing their job, and my answers were watertight. I simply said I got a provoking call from a mistress at the airport, and went to confront her in a fit of rage. As for saying the plane would crash, I denied it. I never said those specific words. I patiently gave my statement for a long time. They even brought Jessica in for questioning. In the end, finding nothing suspicious, they let me go. Before leaving, I asked the officer, Is my boyfriend Justin one of the survivors? Jessica, who came out with me, widened her eyes and stared at me. What did you say? What survivors? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? The officer and I fell silent simultaneously, both looking down at Jessica. The father of her unborn child was in the ICU. After a long silence, the officer patted my shoulder, confirming my question. I forced a smile and left the station. Evil really does live long. Even a catastrophic crash couldn't kill that scumbag. The accusations the police mentioned must have come from Justin. He still couldn't stand seeing me do well, and wanted to drag me down with him. Thinking of this, I looked up which hospital Justin was in. I planned to visit him. I wanted to see who the survivors were. A few days later, at the Provincial People's Hospital, I got my wish and saw Justin. He was wrapped in bandages, his left leg was gone, and his face had massive burns. One solitary eye darted around wildly, landing on me. It was terrifying. Bitch. Justin's hand trembled as he pointed at me, his whole body convulsing. I sneered and walked up to him. Long time no see. Justin stared daggers at me. I didn't care at all, and just kept talking. Thanks to you and Jessica, I didn't get on that plane. Wow, thinking about it now, I'm really lucky. You two are basically my lucky charms. I heard Jessica is pregnant? That's great. At least your bloodline won't end here. Justin couldn't speak, but his eyes were cold as knives. He looked like he wanted to hack me to pieces. But the suffering he was enduring wasn't even a fraction of what I went through in my past life. Seeing Justin trying to sit up to strangle me, I continued peeling an apple for him. I said lightly, "Don't blame me for visiting so late. I just got promoted to CFO. The company has given me a lot of responsibilities recently. I'm so busy I barely have time to eat. That's why I'm a bit late. Whenever you and Jessica get married, I'll come drink to your happiness." I placed the apple on the plate, waved at him, and turned to leave. Behind me, Justin struggled, trying to scream at me, and fell out of bed. The commotion was loud, and nurses rushed into the room. But what did that have to do with me? I saw Blue Hat among the survivors, which sent a chill down my spine. In the real world, the good die young, and the wicked survive. But I heard she was blinded and lost both legs. She'd be in a wheelchair forever. Her fiancé, the one she was rushing back to marry, called off the wedding the night he heard the news. He returned all her dowry. I wondered if she'd ever find another husband to buy her a pigeon egg diamond in this lifetime. The only thing that made me happy was, Big Ed died. Good. He deserved it. In my past life, when I died, they used me to make a fortune. In this life, I wish them nothing but misery. Leaving the hospital, the turbulent emotions I'd felt since my rebirth finally settled. I was ready to start my new life. But I didn't expect that things were far from over. Not long after, posts almost identical to the ones in my past life started fermenting online. Because I rebooked at the last minute, I was highly suspicious. There were many inflammatory posts. So-called metaphysics masters claimed I sacrificed a plane full of people to extend my own life. They sounded so convincing that many people actually believed them. Blue Hat, the survivor, started live streaming again. This time from the hospital. She's a witch. She knows black magic. She used tarot cards to predict the plane crash. In the stream, the pale-faced Blue Hat cried until her eyes were swollen. She told the internet about her tragic fate, her career ruined, her husband leaving her. She quickly attracted a massive wave of traffic. And I, as her antagonist, was naturally attacked from all sides. Although Blue Hat seemed to be leading the charge, I knew Justin had to be behind it, fueling the fire. A few days later, countless victims' families appeared, demanding an explanation from me. They wanted justice. Some even came to my office building just to throw rotten eggs at me. Someone organized a protest demonstration downstairs. Under pressure, the company had to suspend me temporarily. While I was holed up at home, Jessica called. "See, I told you karma would get you. Chloe Sue, you celebrated too early. Let me tell you, even lying in a hospital bed, Justin is the smartest guy in the room. Just wait until your reputation is completely destroyed." Jessica sounded triumphant on the phone. She hung up before I could say a word. She called specifically to mock me. Sometimes I really couldn't understand it. I grew up with Jessica. We've known each other for 22 years. I bought her first birthday cake. I never imagined that in the end, the two of them would betray and hurt me like this. In my past life, I didn't believe Jessica was completely innocent. She knew about the affair but never warned me or spoke up for me. It meant that in her eyes, our 22 years of friendship meant nothing. The online backlash was still growing, but it didn't matter. I had already found a way to fight back. It's a contest of who's more pitiful, right? Anyone can play that game. They had empty words with no proof, but I had receipts. I wasn't surprised when Justin's mom showed up at my door. Her son was in such a state, while I was unharmed and had even gotten a promotion and a raise. It was natural she couldn't sit still. I watched the surveillance feed at my door. Justin's mom had even brought 2 strong women with her. I opened the door, and Justin's mom rushed in. "I'll beat you to death, you husband cursing little bitch. Ever since Justin got with you, he's lost money and had bad luck. Why didn't a woman like you just die earlier? You just had to come out and ruin men's lives." Justin's mom grabbed me and hit me, while the other 2 women smashed everything in my apartment. I screamed and ran around, deliberately tripping and falling, taking quite a beating. His mom sat on top of me, hitting me. In no time, my apartment was a wreck. Finally, a neighbor called the police, and they pulled them off me. I crouched on the floor holding my head, covered in injuries. But the corners of my mouth curled up in a smile. Perfect. I was going to make this mother and son pay. I didn't press charges immediately, I just waited. Over the next 10 days, relatives of the survivors and victims kept calling to harass and abuse me. I never fought back. I just apologized over and over. Late at night, I received texts from Justin. "Bitch, I won't let you have a good life. You're just a woman. Why did the company promote you? You slut, you must have slept with the boss. Shameless whore. Not so smug now, are you? Go to hell." I didn't get angry reading these messages. I just saved them all. Compared to Justin lying in a hospital bed, the able-bodied Jessica was even more arrogant. She wore gold and silver, making sure to pass by my building every day. I ignored her. I was just waiting for an opportunity. Soon, that opportunity appeared. 3 days later, in a hotel conference room, the families of the crash victims and the survivors were holding a memorial service. Reporters and media would be tracking it. The memorial service attracted widespread social attention, with many netizens live streaming the whole thing. On my way there, I saw Justin's mom wailing and making a huge scene in the center of the conference room. She was sobbing, clutching her chest, almost fainting. "My son, how could you suffer so much?" The company was about to promote him, but that wicked Chloe Sue. She's a jinx. Why is my son lying in a bed while she's out living the high life? Why wasn't it her who died? I couldn't help but sneer. Justin was at least alive. The other victims didn't even have bodies left to bury. She really loved the drama. And Jessica, her belly was showing now. Jessica knelt beside Justin's mom, not caring about appearances, her makeup ruined by tears. "Chloe is cold-blooded. We've been friends for over 20 years. When I had an emergency and asked to borrow money, she refused. Now that she's in the big city, she looks down on us small-town people." Speaking of that, I remembered. 6 months ago, Jessica's mom was sick, and she asked to borrow $10,000. I asked her to write an IOU, and she got upset then. I didn't think much of it, but now it seems she really never intended to pay it back. Business is business. I didn't think 10 grand was a small amount. I was even worried she couldn't pay it back quickly, so I told her there was no rush. I never expected that I'd not only lose the 10 grand, but also gain a reputation for being cold-blooded. My conscience was wasted on dogs. It's human nature to be jealous when others are doing well, especially since I was the super survivor of this disaster. I quickly drew the collective wrath of everyone there. Blue Hat was front and center, spreading rumors like a general leading the charge. Her boyfriend said so. She didn't want to get on the plane all morning. She even said she dreamed the plane crashed. According to her boyfriend, they hit a rabbit when they left the house that morning. Her hand was bleeding from a cut. They were both supposed to rebook, but somehow only her ex-boyfriend got on the plane. Isn't that murder? If she had told everyone about her premonition earlier, no one would have boarded. After Blue Hat finished speaking, the crowd was furious. They cursed me in unison, acting like I was the one who swatted the plane out of the sky. The live stream chat was filled with metaphysical accusations. I arrived at the memorial shortly after. Turning off the stream on my phone, I resolutely pushed the door open and walked in. Don't worry, I had bodyguards hidden in the crowd. Why is she here? That's Chloe Sue. Whispers rippled through the room. Under everyone's gaze, I walked to the front of the stage. The people standing at the front looked at me with bloodshot eyes, looking like they wanted to tear me apart. She is Chloe Sue. Blue Hat was emotional. She pointed at my face and rushed over to hit me. Someone in the crowd stopped her. I faced everyone and shed a couple of tears. I sympathize with everyone's tragedy, but I must clear my name. Regarding the tarot incident trending online and the conspiracy theories, I have new evidence to provide. I didn't give anyone time to react. I directly played a recording. My girlfriend. Sorry everyone, I actually don't know how. The tarot deck is brand new. It hasn't even been broken in. Sis, maybe we should all just rebook? It was the recording from the airport that day. Everyone fell silent. Soon Blue Hat's voice came through. Bitch, don't put words in my mouth. I never said I getting married. There's no way I'm changing flight. Blame her boyfriend. He's the one bringing up all this bad luck. The recording ended. The truth about the tarot cards was clear. Everyone turned to look at Blue Hat. She lost control. How did you record that? What right do you have to record us? I looked innocent. Sorry, I was actually planning to document my daily life with Justin. We always had that habit. Seeing the tide turning, Justin's mom stood up and screamed. Then why did my son say you wanted to rebook multiple times, but you didn't? Why did you rebook at the very last minute? She questioned me loudly, trying to point the spear back at me. Exactly why? You must give us an explanation. Someone in the crowd shouted. I didn't panic at all. I turned on the projector. A massive slide appeared on the screen. A PowerPoint I had prepared long ago. It was a complete chain of evidence. Justin buying the dead rabbit. Video of him putting needles in my hair clip. And his search history on how to make a girlfriend have a mental breakdown. I pointed at the evidence on the screen. This is the bad premonition Justin claimed I had. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect such a twist. The number of viewers in the live stream skyrocketed, comments flying by too fast to read. Justin's mom cracked first. She rushed out trying to shut off the computer, but was blocked. You're spitting blood. You forged the evidence. I ignored her insults. Instead, I picked up the microphone and addressed the topic everyone cared about most. As for why I suddenly rebooked, it was because my boyfriend was cheating. His mistress called me to brag that she was pregnant. I clicked play on the next recording on the screen. Jessica's smug voice instantly filled the room. My child can't be without a father. You guys should break up. Remarks like that were infuriating. Everyone's look toward Jessica changed. Jessica's face turned beet red. It seemed she knew what the word shame meant after all, otherwise she wouldn't be speechless. I had saved the call recording with Justin too. As it played, I explained. These recordings were saved as evidence for a future lawsuit. My voice was calm. The netizens in the live stream, who were originally just there for the drama, all switched to my side. The families calmed down too. After all, the plane crash wasn't my fault. I wiped my tears and bowed to everyone. I'm truly sorry, everyone. I didn't want to stand up and hurt you all again. But the cyberbullying and the harassment from my ex-boyfriend's mother made it impossible for me to live a normal life. I put all the texts of Justin abusing and threatening me on the big screen. Even the video of his mom beating me up that day. Now no one had anything to say. The internet erupted with curses against them. Because it involved workplace gender conflict, it easily ignited a war. The storm ended just like that. When I became a victim too, the inexplicable hostility lessened significantly. Moreover, I had taken the moral high ground in the court of public opinion. I went back to work. And I took Justin's mom to court. assault, home invasion, and even stealing my gold bracelet. There were clear surveillance records for all of it. Soon the police arrested her. As for Jessica, I sent her all the chat logs of Justin flirting with female colleagues at the company. How could a man who cheats stop at just one mistress? A long time later, I heard Jessica stab Justin. Good. Scumbags belong in hell. My good life is rolling forward. Another Labor Day came around. This time, I didn't choose to fly. Sitting on the high-speed train, looking at the endless horizon, I felt drowsy. In my haze, I seemed to dream again. Crash. Past life extra, no survivors. Dead. Chloe Sue was finally dead. After 3 years as CFO, Justin clapped and cheered when he heard the news. That woman deserved to die. Who asked her to be a busybody? He just couldn't stand seeing her doing better than him. Justin now had a son and a daughter. Success in both family and career. He was going to go to Chloe's grave to brag. To show off, Justin parked his new luxury car right on the street. He enjoyed the feeling of people watching him. He had just walked out of the office building. Splat. A billboard fell from the roof, crushing Justin into a meat paste. Blue Hat and Big Ed got married. They became a high-traffic influencer couple. They didn't care about Chloe's death at all, maybe a brief sigh at most. In that life, they built their fortune by eating Chloe's flesh and drinking her blood. That night, while getting intimate in the bathroom, they slipped on body wash and got strangled by the retractable clothesline. The police arrived and ruled it a suicide. If it wasn't suicide, what else could it be? Did the Grim Reaper come for them? The end.